Hi, I'm Mrs. Nilsson, and today we're going to work on lab in Unit 1, Lesson 9. So the lab is called Desertification, and there are a lot of supplies that you need for this lab. So to get started, we're going to construct the town and the sand dune. So you'll need this paper from your online school to help you know how to do this. So the first thing it tells us to do is to take this aluminum baking dish and to cut out the front of it. So I'm just going to use old scissors. These are not my best scissors. Don't make your parents mad by using their best scissors. So I'm going to use some old scissors and I'm going to cut this dish. Cut on both corners and I'll just cut across the front. Okay, now this part with no front, this is the front of our tray that we need for our experiment today. So then I'm going to want to measure in the back with a ruler. This ruler has inches and centimeters on it. And so I'm going to use 16 centimeters from the back. I'm going to mark that in my pan. In a couple places. And then I need to get some tin foil. And I want the tin foil to cover the edges up and over the back so that when I'm using a blow dryer and blowing the sand, I don't blow it all over my house. So here's my tin foil. I'm going to put it at my 16 centimeter spot. And I got a dish that had tall edges so that it would hold it in on the sides. If your dish doesn't have tall edges, you probably want to use another piece of tin foil this way so that it keeps the sand as much as possible in the dish. And then I'm just going to leave this from hanging out. I might have made it a little too long, but it'll be okay. So that's kind of how my pan looks. Now I want this edge to stay down so the sand doesn't blow under it. So I'm going to take some coins. I just grabbed a handful and I'm going to tape them to the under part. So I'll take this out. And it says to tape a few coins under the front edge of the foil to keep your foil weighted down. So that when you start using your blow dryer, it won't blow away. But if you want to use coins, put some coins down, tape them. Across the whole front so that it doesn't lift up while I'm doing this experiment. Kind of defeat the purpose if all the sand went under the foil. Okay, now I'm going to put this back in the pan. Like this. And now, I'm supposed to use modeling clay to make a few buildings. You want your buildings to be 3 centimeters high. And these, it doesn't say exactly how many, it just says a few small blocks. So here again is my ruler. And I'm going to make these about 3 centimeters. Okay. I'm going to break this in half. So it can be 2 buildings, since I already measured my 3 centimeters. And the buildings go on the tinfoil. Comes closer to the middle. And a few more. Make sure I just measured that, 3 centimeters. I don't think they're exactly the same height, the red and the yellow buildings, but I don't think that it has to be exact. I think you'll be okay. So here are my buildings. Done. Now, I want to put them 10 centimeters from the back of the dish. So I put them a little too close. That's better. Okay. Now I'm going to get my sand, and when you pour your sand on the dish, it should not be on the aluminum foil. It needs to be on the dish in the front. Okay, now I need to get some sand, and I need to put it on my dish. Now remember, I'm not going to put it on my tin foil. I'm going to put it on the open end. The sand should go all the way across the front of the dish. Okay, I'm going to make a sand dune, and my sand dune should be 14 centimeters from the buildings, and it should be across the whole thing, and it also should be about the same height as the building. And remember, we made those 3 centimeters tall. So I'm going to get my ruler. If I want it to be 14 centimeters, I need to scoot it back just a little. Now remember, the tallest part of the dune should be the 14 centimeters. Now it's sand, so it moves. It's not, it should be really dry. You shouldn't have any moisture in your sand. Okay, you can see that it's about 14 centimeters from my building. You want to make sure to get it right, because every time you reset the experiment, you want your measurements to be the same so that your experiment comes out properly. So you want it to be 14 centimeters, and you do want it to be about the same height. And it's not the same height as my buildings. It's not even there. So I'm going to add a little bit of sand. I want it to be taller. Okay, now I'm going to check and make sure that my sand dune is about 3 centimeters tall. I can go like this and compare in height to see if it's level, my building is level with my sand dune, or I can just actually stick that down in there and measure. It is just about 3 centimeters, so I think that's great. Okay, this is the basic way that this should be built for this experiment, for this lab. And what you're testing is to see if you can figure out the best way to stop desertification.